world that he's inside of. And so you've got various zones that Mario can go to. When he beats a zone, he gets a coin, hence the 6 golden coins. And then once he gets all of the coins, he goes and fights Wario in the first appearance. So we can look at this like this. Story in Mario Land 2, Wario is locked in Mario's castle behind a door. Door requires those coins to open. Each coin is locked by a boss. Each boss is on a world. Each world has a number of stages. Mario begins without the coins. So this is your growth and development that you were talking about, right? So I start with Mario wants his castle back. That's the achievable at the end of the day, and I'm moving my story back through there, and now I have to go this way. How does Mario get to it? Motivation. I will grow more powerful, take back the coins, defeat Wario, win back my castle. So now I have Mario's motivation. So now I create a directed acyclic graph backwards through it. So I have the stages of the world, the final stage of the world boss. I have that in multiple different stages, and all of those flow to obtaining the 6 golden coins, and then final fight with Wario. So these are my achievables, these are my levels that I have to create in our living path. We see this also as framing devices within Candy Crush. Candy Crush Saga has this. You bump into somebody along the road, and then by the end of like the 20 levels, then you go to the next person, and they've got a new problem for that. And each one of these stages has its own issues with that. So Candy Crush Saga is this journey through a nice magical world, but it has this I'm growing stronger, I'm getting better framing. Clash of Clans Boom Beach single player has this framing as well. In Clash of Clans we have the fighting of the goblins. In Boom Beach it takes even farther in that human players' bases are colored as the black arrow. So even if I do player versus player, it looks like I'm going player versus enemy in terms of that. So you're the hero in your own story, and you're a bad guy to everyone else. For that. Okay. Gaining power, big, huge thing inside of a lot of games for giving a good motivation. Look at this. This is the sniper tower at HQ level 21. And it's big, and it's got huge armor plates, and it's got, lots of stuff on it, and big sniper tower. Boom cannon becomes a huge board. Machine gun now has 4 barrels. So the more and bigger and better and more plates that we put on there, the better you are. And so upgrade your headquarters to the next level, unlock sneaky shot lines. They're giving you a little bit every time. And for our casual gamers, this is where, by the way, you can also pay us $10 and bypass that and be better. Okay, so directed acyclic graphs can also be placement tools for stories within the topology in terms of those levels. So the topology of the story could also be put into these types of room generators for this. So here's maybe our movement layout. We have some rooms inside here. We have some keys that open locks. And then these are the rooms that are connected through there. And based on how those locks action, then we create a level that meets with that. And you can see that it has these doors against it for that meets with that room layout. Right? Story guides. Start. I'm going to fight with an enemy. I'm going to loot a key, and then I can unlock the door, pick up a health potion, interact with the avatar, fight the boss, loot the treasure, and end. I need to map that into a level. So here is our start, navigate, fight with enemy. So here's our start, navigate, fight with enemy area. Then I'm going to loot the key, go up here. There's an altar over here. I fight the boss, I loot the treasure, and I go loot. So there's a lot about kind of matching both the narrative space in with the play space and coming up with the narrative space first and then enforcing that in your generated levels. And it follows this idea of kind of loops. How many have seen this, the Deming cycle? Probably a few of you might have seen this. So the idea is that you have act, plan, do, check, and you continue to start a cycle. And every time that you make the cycle, you're supposed to figure out what the new idea is. Okay? So this has to do with time and improvement over time. Okay? So how would this look in terms of a narrative or action-based? So we have a model. Model is we have a Goomba. What's this thing? Imagine I'm playing Mario for the first time. What is that thing? I don't know. Right? That's how we learn. I don't know. I have a thing. I have some ideas of how that thing works. It looks evil. Let's do something to it. So the action is maybe I jump onto it, right? What happens if I jump onto it? And then I hit it, and then, so this is my check. This is my plan, act. Oh no, I didn't hit him and correctly or somehow and I died. Okay, so that gave me some rules, right? A Goomba has some rules about him that are enforced by the game. And from those rules, we then get feedback, right? We see, okay, maybe how do I switch it this way? So let's go back to our demo cycle. I have an idea of what something is like. I plan, I go, I'm going to jump on this Goomba. I jump on that Goomba. Did the Goomba die? Yes. Okay, my actions need to change from now on. Okay? So I'm constantly going through these sorts of cycles. So if I'm going through all these little cycles, in this case it's jumping on a Goomba. Jumping on a Goomba might have cycles under it that hold it together, right? Because a lot of actions, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm manipulating projector. A lot of these has to do with, when I was a young child, I had to learn how to walk, I had to learn how to talk, I had to learn how to manipulate this computer, I had to learn how to build a slide presentation. So even though giving a presentation is scaffolded, is held up by all of these other learning actions that I made, 20, 30 years ago. So here, jump up could be one of these. How do I jump up in Mario, right? Move right could be something that I have to learn in Mario. Where is that on the controller? Where is that on the action? Kill Goomba, right? Is scaffolded on move right and jump up. So in a lot of games, you'll have these kind of actions, and games try to teach this to you, or good games at least try to teach this to you, that you need to kind of have the action of move right. Mario can move right. And so the original, there's lots of treatises on Mario level World 1.1 as to how it teaches you to play Mario. Because it starts Mario off on the left of the screen, nothing else is in front of you. If you had never seen this controller before, at some point you're going to press right and go, oh, Mario can move right to advance. Jump up, oh, one of these buttons must do something. And they put a Goomba in front of you, and if you don't know how to jump, you will die. So it has these quick cycles in terms of learning through it. So when you're looking at the design of this, in terms of these narrative cycles as well, you need to look at where does the learning cycles happen in terms of the narrative. When did I do those actions for scaffold? Okay. So scaffoldings let players learn, and that's what good games do. So players are not subjected at once to all gameplay elements. How many people have kind of opened up a game and gone, I don't know what to do, and there's just like, hundreds of graphs and charts. I think everybody opening up a role-playing game for the first time, right? Bring it, here's D&D, long. Right? You had to sit there and you probably had to read through quite a bit before you could even begin a general game, or you had to find somebody who knew how to play it. Video games sadly do not have the here's how you play it thing other than the annoying little, hey, listen kind of, thing going on inside of them, and we don't want that. We need to show them. So we don't want to rely on just tactual feedback. Players also need to be able to make mistakes. There was one game that I saw that where they said, we're going to create a first-person shooter in which if you die in a first-person shooter, you are never allowed to play the game again. It will just shut down and delete itself from your computer and never allow you to play it and mess up your registry so that way if you ever try to reinstall it, it won't do. And I thought, that is the stupidest thing ever. It's a first-person shooter. It is designed for you to go and kill people, and that people will make mistakes and do things. It's like your player base will be gone within the first day. Because somebody will jump on from COD or one of these things, kill all the other players who doesn't care, and that's the end of the game. There's no way to maintain that market model. So players need to be able to make mistakes. Players are given each mechanic one at a time in order to build on prior experience. Candy Crush does this via multiple levels in their stages, right? They have an entire thing where it's like, okay, now I'm going to show you how those chocolate things that get on top of everything if you don't destroy them quickly enough work via this level. I'm going to show you how this works by this level. And then what you'll see is in later levels to go, okay, you already know about this, you already know about this, you already know about this, here they're all together. You go, oh, okay. Feedback should be visual, auditory, and consistent. Okay? We're in a games medium. We can use audio, we can use visuals, we can use also rumble packs and feedback like that, right? If I'm driving a car and I get on the edge, they put crumple strips there, right? Make sure, oh, I'm too far over, I'll move over. It's visual, it's auditory, and it's haptic in that case. So Mario jumping on a Goomba, if the Goomba just, disappeared off my screen, okay, what did I do? Did I do that? Did something do that? Auditory, you get that whoop whoop, and you get a little 100 coming out of them. There's all these actions that tell you that, oh, you did good in this case. When Mario dies, and jumps off the screen in terms of that. Extra lives, retry the level, etc. work for that. So good games have these sorts of things built in order to kind of give you a, oh, you made a mistake, okay, you're learning this, here's a curve. Doesn't mean you can't ramp the curve up later on, it just means that start your time to put that in place. Okay. Questions at this point?
Well, talking about some cycles in the game. At which point these cycles will be disturbed?
At which point can I disturb the cycle?
Okay, I'm trying to play the game, and I'm doing always the same thing in the cycle. 1, 2, 3. What should I add there to not to disturb me with this the same things, the same components?
So a lot of it has to do with kind of the consistency inside of the game, inside the actions. And if you want to introduce a new mechanic, is that part of it? You're trying to introduce something new into the cycle. Okay. So if you're trying to introduce something new, you kind of almost want to show them how to use that thing separate without any risk, right? So think about. Do you ride a bicycle?
Suppose yes.
Okay, so but when you're learning a bicycle, did they put you on a full-on, adult bicycle and say, "Have at it"?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Russian educational system. And you fell over and hurt yourself a lot during that.
Yeah.
But in many places.